Either Splyce or Infused is going home. But Jack and Jonas,
we're happy to be here. Final 3 matches more to go, potentially a 4th if we go to that second best of 5, which is absolutely reasonable with some of these teams that are in the losers bracket right now. Elimination games.
They certainly will. Jonas, how are you feeling about all this?
Well, I'm feeling good. I mean, we've seen some close games, albeit closing twice, 3-2 last map. You know, pretty much any of them could take it, but albeit it's just been taking the edge. Now, we didn't expect Splyce to be in this situation right now. Earlier at the start of the tournament, I said, I think Infused is going to be just outside top 4. I don't think they can break top 3. I kind of think that's what I'm going to see into this game.
All right. Well, before we get too far into this game, let's have a little look at the bracket to kind of catch everybody at home up and see what has been going on. Of course, we just watched Orbit versus Elevate in that game. Orbit, they're all the way in our grand final.
I think Rated moved on to the grand final. The rest of his team is still moving on.
Yes, it was rated against Watson.
Yeah.
And then, obviously, Splyce versus Infused is the game we are about to watch. The winner of this will play Elevate. The winner of that will try and win 2 best of 5s against Orbit. Can they do it? I don't know.
Neither do I. That is a tall, tall order, especially it seems like the Orbit we saw that had a little blunder earlier on in the weekend has now been polished up. They look ready to go. Yes, it was a close series versus Elevate, but they do wind up handing Elevate, I believe, their first hardpoint loss of the entire weekend. So it's big moments like that of why they're now in the grand finals.
It certainly is. Well, let's have a little look at the teams. First up, Splyce.
Well, Splyce, what a great team again. Probably a dream team if you had to pick any 4 players in Europe that you would put as the best players. I mean, pretty much all 4 of them would be in there. Jared and Madcat teamed together for so long, especially with Millennium last year being season 1 and season 2 winners, and on the other end, Josh and Ben sticking together after the 2nd place at COD XP. So, you know, you can't get much better than that in Europe on paper. Look
at that KD difference, plus 150. These guys are lights out in the slaying department.
They certainly are, and I think this has been a team everyone's going to keep an eye on, not just in Europe, but the North American teams will be eyeing them up.
Yeah.
We may even have some of the North American players watching this right now,
I'm sure
wondering what happens when these hit American shores.
Oh, yeah, what time is it now? Oh, yeah, no, actually, they're gamers. They're not awake yet.
Oh, okay.
It's past noon.
It's not past noon over there. All right, well, here are the keys to victory. First of all, focus on shutting down Moose's slaying power.
Well, we look at the KD difference. Yes, plus 150 for the side of Splyce as a team. You might as well put that for just Moose this weekend.
Second, exploit Marky B. Currently, Infused worst performer.
Wow. Well, he can't do anything. I mean, look at PD and
Enemy.
You know, they've been picking up so many kills. Every R point, it seems like one of them is going off. Same for Nelson, so Marky B doesn't have much to do.
And third, but not least, be fast and be aggressive.
Get in their face. Make it hectic. That's where you've seen Jared be successful in his career. When you've got the likes of Bance there as well, it's what made a name for himself in Black Ops 3.
Yeah.
Look at that again here. We talked about how Bance had a quiet weekend so far in regards to what we expect from him.
His last game.
Yes, the last one, he had some crazy plays. The 3-piece with Reactive, I know, was a nice little highlight we saw there. But we talked very highly about Splyce. There is another team across the booths, and that is a very formidable squad as well.
That certainly is Team Infused, who have definitely gained some fans this weekend. And we're wondering whether or not they can go all the way. And here, of course, they are. Marky B, Moose, Nelson, and Petey. Massive KD difference. I'm not sure it was last game. I'm not sure if it's the exact same percentage. But Moose, last time we had this up, accounted for 78%
nuts
of his team's positive record.
And you look at this now and you see plus 181 for Infused, plus 150 for Splyce. Not sure if any teams even match that this weekend. But one thing I will say is how different a certain game plays when you have 2 very even slay-heavy teams. How prepared are either of these squads to now face that? For the majority of this weekend, as you could tell, they've been outslaying their opponents, which has given them full control of how the game is played, the pacing of the map. How do they adjust now where they're facing 4 just as good opponents as they have on their own team?
All right, let's get the keys of victory underway. First of all, you've got to take Madcat out of the game. Madcat has been performing so well for Splyce. And you got to figure out, you know, just how do you shut down the Madcat?
Easier said than done.
It is easier said than done. Second, play as a unit and exploit isolated Splyce players. I like this one, relying on the chemistry that some of the Infused guys have had. You've got to remember some of these teams before. This actual Infused squad is only 1 player difference from the TCM team that took 3rd at Anaheim. Then we've got keys to victory number 3. Keep up the comms and stay positive. This team could tilt.
And in the listen-ins this weekend, who are the 2 teams I've been most impressed with by their communication? Has been Infused with Marky B as their leader, and then Josh with Splyce. The 2 times we listened to them, it was insane, but they weren't skipping a beat.
They certainly were not, and I think realistically, I'm looking forward to some more listen-ins as we go through this one. But let's take a look at the key player matchups for this game. All right, here you go. It's PD versus Mad.
Oh, gosh.
Wow, what a matchup. I mean, PD, we've seen him time and time again be so important during the hardpoint. So sure, Moose has been going off and hitting crazy scores, but PD has been key in very important moments for Infused, so definitely a player to watch. On the other end, Mad Cat. And before the previous game, we were saying Mad Cat has been the only one who's been going off, and only Ben started to play really well in previous game. But Mad Cat, you know, we was considered probably best player in Europe for a few years, and is again delivering this year.
And you see Mad Cat there, 3rd overall, KD difference. Moose is one player that's above him. It wasn't even shown there.
Yeah, Moose has been doing great, but we said again, Infused. We've seen Nelson actually do quite well these last few games. There's maybe not as much. Marky B not really having the greatest game, but there are only so many kills on the map. So I don't know. For me, I think it's going to be kind of interesting. I want to see who's really on fire. Can they still pull off these amazing games? PD, Moose, it's not an easy competition. Right. You're going up against Splyce. Can they do it?
I mean, you've known Marky B probably for the closer half of a decade now.
Yeah.
If there's any player in the European Call of Duty scene that I don't think cares about his stats, it's Marky B, as long as he gets the victories.
Alongside Shane.
Yes, they talked about it in an interview earlier this weekend. It's been closer to a year now since Infused have won their last tournament together as an organization, as a team. Marky B has been in the leadership role of that this whole time. He wants this weekend.
He certainly does. Well, it's time to get into the predictions. Let's try and figure out exactly how we think this one is going to go down. Jonas?
Well, I said Infused wouldn't break top 4. I'm sticking to it. I think Splyce is going to take it. I'm going to say 3-1.
I had Splyce in my top 3 at the start of the weekend. I'm also going to side with that as well. I said that this would be my grand finals matchup. I'm happy to see it happening no matter what. Map count, 3-1.
3-1, okay.
Yep. Actually, whoa, with Breakout there, 3-2.
3-2 to
Splyce still.
To Splyce.
Because Splyce is not going to win Breakout hard.
All right, what duo? It is going to be Mr. X and Momo.
Thank you very much, Bryce. And the boys on the analyst desk, we've got an absolute storm of a game. Splyce and Infused, 2 teams that have gone head-to-head as organizations many a times. 8 players which have gone head-to-head many a times. You know, a year ago, the likes of Josh, you know, Bance, they always seem to take down Marky B. And is today going to be any different? The desk doesn't think so.
Well, yeah, I don't think so either. I think Splyce takes this one. You know, when you look at all these players, obviously big names in Europe for a very long time, Nolson's the one for me who could be a big X factor in this coming in. A player who's been up and down throughout the tournament, a lot of great individual skill. If he can put it together here against Splyce, may throw things in Infused's favor. I do think, though, Splyce is on a mission to get back to that final.
Yeah, Splyce, you know, ever since they got put down by Orbit, they've been steamrolling through this loser bracket and been making a fool out of a couple of teams. So we'll have to see whether it'll be as easy as the last one. I'm sure it won't be. Infused, obviously, will put up a big fight here. We've seen Moose go off all weekend. PD's had his moments as well. And the first map, of course, being Scorch. I mean, this map in particular, we've talked about a hard point. It is just so in your face, and I actually think this favors the likes of Josh and Jared.
Oh, it absolutely does, and I think look for Splyce to really take advantage when you get over to that second hard point by Turbine and rack up a lot of score.
Okay, well, getting into this, we do have a quick VT. We caught up with Splyce Josh before the game.
Infused supports everyone, I think. Obviously, Moose has been having one of the best tournaments I've ever seen him play. So they're obviously playing a lot better than expected and a lot better than it was online. We've played them a few times. How the game will go, I mean, it can go either way. Like, we've played them online a few times, but it's online and it's just, we've played them twice on the same maps, even though we beat them twice, so it's hard to say. I'm obviously really confident going into the game, but we'll see how it goes.
Okay, well, there's Josh's thoughts, and Splyce start off well. First 20 points on the board for them. That's coming in from Bance, as well as a couple of kills. Let's see what he's up to.
Yeah, that was a really nice way of saying he feels like they're going to destroy him. He goes, yeah, you know, we've played them twice online with the same maps, and we've won both times, but it could be, you know, anybody can win. It's like, nah, it's deep down, you probably feel very confident going into this one. And you see at the break off of this game, looking very good is Splyce as they jump up 40-4 here, just locking down this center hardpoint.
Okay, well, Bance is just going to clear one up. He should have the good spawns, but he's actually got a split spawn. Josh has spawned out, and that's just the aggressiveness of Marky and Nolson. Marky is going to fall. Moose as well. 3 kills coming back-to-back for Splyce, and straight away, he's looking a little bit one-sided here, Mr. X.
Yeah, definitely one-sided. Bant's going to earn himself some score streaks as well. Right now, you see how far Infused is spawning and just how spread out they are. I mean, look at this. You have players from the bottom of the minimap all the way up to the top by Skybridge trying to push over towards this second hardpoint. And if they just get killed, 1 or 2 rotations here, we're going to see score something like almost 100 to 8 going into the third hill.
Yeah, this is ridiculous. I mean, a hold-on turbine for Splyce. That's not uncommon, however. We do see PD slip and slide as he finds a 3-kill streak. And you know what? They may get up the scrap here. I'd be surprised if Splyce do challenge this. We do have Josh still going for it. Not sure about this play. He may just turn around and, yeah, maybe get the cutoff to that next rotation. But no, he's fancying himself getting a couple more points.
Yeah, for a second it looked like he was just going to cut the map, kind of go across, pick up those kills over by Skybridge, but he goes all the way back towards that hard point, challenges it one more time with about 8 seconds left. He will spawn up with the rest of his team, though, over here inside of the hangar. So we'll see if Splyce can win this first rotation to gunfights, and if they do that, they'll make a lot of that time that they lost back.
Well, Nolson gets one, Moose answers back, and that is 2 players on rotation, picking up super important kills, but Jared Madcat are going to answer that equally. And now, this is where it matters. In the hill, making time, Madcat picks up 1. He does sense danger, and he's got his team to back him up. However, who is that player? It's number 7. It's Moose. He's charging in. He finds 1. That's all it's going to be now, and Splyce keep control.
Good play by Madcat, realizes his team spawning in the back by the caves. He just turns towards that right-hand side, knows there's one player still down there, has 2 players coming from Skybridge. He can see both sides of him, so very good play there by Madcat to stay alive inside of the hard point. Now, Josh with the ERAD. This is where the ERAD can be extremely effective in these close quarter engagements, really around the doorways. This is where it will struggle in these long range to mid around the middle of the map.
Yeah, when you get a player like Josh hodding up, he's on a 3-kill streak. Madcat's actually on a 5, but the accuracy that this guy can actually pull off with the ERAD is pretty insane as well. He's trying to flank round. He may be caught. No, he's not. He's going to find him in close quarters. Only the ERAD can answer back. That's coming in from Nolson. And this is these next couple of kills are going to be very important to control the drill.
Yeah, and I feel like as time goes on in Infinite Warfare, it'll be pretty impressive to see. A lot like when we had Advanced Warfare, ASM1 players against Val guys at the beginning, where it was really like a 3-1 AR split, a lot like what we're seeing now. If your submachine gun player can outplay the other teams, you're going to have a huge advantage in these respawn game modes.
Yeah, and submachine gun players, it was almost eliminated at the start of the game, but the ERAD kind of coming into the meta, and the likes of Josh picking it up, it's very dangerous. Close quarter combat with a player with reaction speeds of Josh, with a simple gun skill of what Josh can pull off, it will lead to dangerous things. However, Madcat is the one shining right now, 11-4 for him. And Splyce, we see a significant lead here, actually, Mr. X.
Yeah, you got to feel pretty good if you're Splyce going into the second half of this game. Infused, you did a good job here on Drill. You did a good job breaking on the second hardpoint over by Turbine. Other than that, pretty pathetic performance in this first hardpoint. I want to see them bounce back here in the second half. You got to get Moose going. You got to get Petey going. These are the guys who have led this team to this point.
Yeah, and both at the moment significantly underperforming compared to their stats. Obviously facing off against seed number 1 here. Score streaks are going to come in, so they have to dip inside. Jerd taking advantage of that. That's going to be another 2 kills on the bounce. And this is a bit of a repeat of what we saw on the first side. Splyce dominated this middle. The bridge was all theirs, and it's shown once again.
Yeah, but this could easily turn in Infused's favor. All they need is a good... They're controlling the spawns for the second hard point as well. You see everybody for the side of Infused are spawning behind control. They're going to have to go all the way through drill, all the way through observation towards that turbine hill, because 10 seconds left, they got to start playing for that. The rest of the time is going to go to Splyce.
Yeah, really clever here for Madcat just to back off, because, again, you said that they were defending from the bridge, but also setting themselves up for the spawns as well. Josh is going to trade out with PT. And now we're going to see a 3v3. Score streaks coming in. Vance is going to finish 1. And again, this is very, very positive for Splyce. This could be a 100-point lead going into the next hill.
Yeah, and a great time to use streaks. Bance gets 2 with it, helps Josh and Jerd, because Bance and Madcat fall there at the beginning. They spawn out, and they're able to use those streaks plus a few kills from Josh and Jerd to lock this down. And look at where Infused is spawning, Momo. They just have that hallway to just push down at the top of your mini-map. The spawners are going to come in for Splyce as well, so they're going to have reinforcements once they take these players out. It's going to be almost impossible for Infused to break this.
And look at this. They've just held the whole turbine. And look at this. Well, I thought Bance was actually going to push it and get out of there with 20 seconds. But you know what? He's coming back to help. Infused do not want to give up this scrap time. It's a 2v4. Infused should take this away, and they will. But you've just got to think of that rotation.
Yeah, I mean, if you're Splyce, you can invest more players towards that hard point. You know that Infused is pushing for that garbage time. They need it. Being down by more than 100, you can send one player over here towards the hangar, and you're going to hold this at the beginning. So you do see Mad Cat and Bance on your minimap inside of the hill. See if Petey can go to break it.
Well, it's on a 4-kill streak, leveling things out. That's number 5, and PT, could we see something similar to the very start of the tournament? He had a 15-kill streak, I believe. He's going to be head-to-head with Mad Cat down the alley, but he has got players coming from behind this. He's going to be Josh. I think he spotted him. Yes, he had. That's number 6 on the board.
And now Petey, he is fully streaked out on a 6 streak, looking for more players coming in. He's going to fall at the hands of Jerd. All the kills going in favor of Splyce there. They're able to break in, take the hill right back. And, you know, you see Infused, they'll break in, they'll get control of the hill for a second, but it's Splyce. They're able to just break right through the defense. Now, you really look at the side of Infused. You can see what Moose means to this team. I mean, you start to get better game from PD in the second half. You know, Nolson and Marky B not having the best of goes, but you know, this team is going to go as far as Moose goes. I mean, if Moose can start playing like he was earlier, this is a team that can definitely contend with Splyce. If you see games like this is the type of score you're going to get.
Well, we're moving over to the drill. Only around 40 points left for the boys of Splyce. You look at Infused, and they need a staggering amount more. Splyce can take the foot off the gas a little bit, maybe just play the slaying game and work it from there. Score streak's coming in, but all the kill feed is actually Infused for once. They will get full control of this. They will have time on the hill. And you know what? This could be the start of something pretty special.
Yeah, and they're not completely out of it. They did a fantastic job holding Drill the first time. They get control of it here. You see kills just being traded by both teams. A big gunfight from Marky B. Needs to take out one of these players approaching over towards Drill. He's going to get one. Knows there's one more player to his right. Free fire in the window. Nice shots there from Marky B. That is a very big play. If they can hold the rest of this and go back towards the center, you kind of split that one 50-50, make it like a 30-40 point game by that moment in time. You win Turbine, you're in a good spot.
Well, we talk about PT and Moose going off. Nolson's on a 6-kill streak now, fully streaked out as well, getting time for his team, and he's going to be taken down just at the last second, but the drill is nearly over. We're going to be starting this all over again, ladies and gentlemen. However, in the last 60 seconds, Splyce have only managed to accumulate 6 points. Infused have put up a great fight, and you can see that simply in their kill death ratios.
Yeah, and they just got to play from the 50-yard line of the bridge here. You don't want to push too far up because you have those spawns for Turbine. Anything you get here is a bonus. If I'm in the booth for Infused right now, I'm telling my guys I want to get to about 180, 190 points on this one and rotate early. I'll give the last few seconds up to Splyce if I need to. I think if you set up for Turbine, you win one round of gunfights.
But
you're in a very good spot to come back.
Infused only have Marky on the hill. They're already thinking about the next one. That's Nolson taking charge of that. They're already getting the spawn. Marky's in the thick of it, so I'm staying on board, but keep your eye on the minimap because we've just had a big kill. That's coming in from Josh. Josh from behind as well, teaming up with Jerd, and there's 16 seconds still left on it. Splyce can't win it, but they can push it right to the limit here.
Yeah, this is a really tough decision for Infused. Do they want to go challenge this? Do they want to set up? Looks like Jerd is going to take 2 big gunfights on the Turbine side of the map. So you're going to have to see Infused just push straight through that middle hard point. They're going to have 1, maybe 2 really good attempts at this.
Yeah, Jerd potentially has just won them the game right there. Those 2 gunfights, so crucial. However, 3 go down. It's all up to Mad Cat for a second here. He needs to stay alive. He needs to make kills. He's going to go down. Infused could be making a phenomenal comeback right now.
That's about as good as things can go for Infused right there. PD wins another gunfight versus Bance, so this next fight is going to be a 3v4 in favor of Infused. And you just see how close they are getting this score back. The one thing I will say is Infused cannot be so hyped. They take a lead on this hill. They'll only go up by a few seconds. They still need to get all the way across the map to hangar.
Yeah, the rotation is key because, yes, this can be tied up. Spot on there, Mr. X. We're going to go to the final hard point. However, look at number 7. Moose has already spawned there. I'm going on board with him. This is a big kill. He's going to go down to Josh, and Splyce have it all set up.
Yeah, and Splyce has committed 4 players to this. They're going to let Infused take the lead at the end of this hard point. And I like the decision. They're going to tie this one up and take the lead as soon as this hill inside of hangar pops up. We'll see if Infused can get another fast break. PD with a big kill there on Josh, and we'll see if Nolson and co can break it.
This is huge. Moose pushing around the back. 1 player for Splyce has spawned out. This is anyone's right now. 3 are pushing in. We're going neck and neck. Nolson's got to pick up one. Shaky shots. Mad Cat gets the beat down, and Mad Cat as well falls. Infused do take control of the hard point. They push Splyce out. We are neck and neck here.
Yeah, and it's going to be Marky B putting down some shots. Nolson coming in to clean it up. He needs to get back inside the hard point. He has 2 players to his left. It's going to be Josh with the E-Rad inside. The submachine gun wrecking havoc. And you see where Infused is spawning out. They may get one more touch at this.
Yeah, they're going to go hell for leather. 2 seconds left. Splyce have control. They're going to close it out, but my goodness, Infused, they went so hard. And right now, all I'm thinking, the amount of effort they've just put into that, the huge comeback that they made, that must have taken so much effort. You can see, like, Mad Cat's just won that game. He's not happy with that.
Yeah, I mean, that big 2-piece from Mad Cat may have sealed the deal there on Hanger. It looked like Infused was going to push in, take control. He drops down from the hard point, picks up 2 big kills, jumps back up. They get a pinch coming in with Josh with the E-Rad. He picks up the other 2. That may have won Splyce the game because Mad Cat dies right there. The trading all in favor of Infused. Would have been a huge game for Infused to win as well. If they could have stole a hardpoint game at the beginning of this with Moose going 16-23, you kind of favor them from there on out.
That was a game, you know, 6 minutes in, we're almost looking at each other thinking, you know, this is Splyce just being Splyce. And out of nowhere, it wasn't, you know, Moose going crazy. It wasn't PT going off. It was accumulatively all 4 players putting in a shift. Yes, Moose obviously finished, you know, what was it, -7, but that really showed there. The actual amount that went into that for the players, phenomenal.
Yeah, now what I actually thought was the key for Infused to make that comeback is they were taking all the time left on those hard points, but they were winning those initial gunfights when they would go to rotate. It's something you usually don't see too often, where take the garbage time, they'd give up maybe 5-10 seconds to Splyce, break them instantly and get control.
And I'm trying to think, you know, what was the real turning point? You know, because we did 2 sets of rotations, Splyce gained bridge every single time. And then it was kind of, I know Nolson went on a bit of a streak, 6-kill streak. He had full streaks. The streaks were really made to break Turbine, and those 2 hills back to back, you know, Bridge and Turbine, they almost come hand in hand, and you can get, you know, 60, 70 points more than your opponent, and they, you know, they made a real run for it then.
Yeah, what may have been the difference in that game, it's just a play we kind of highlighted for a little bit. We were looking at on the minimap, but Infused sends 3 players over to Turbine. They leave Marky B in Bridge alone, and it was for maybe 10 seconds. He dies. Splyce takes that time. I mean, if that time goes to Infused, this is a game that they may end up taking as well.
And actually, in fairness to Splyce, they were on the back foot for, what, the last 2.5 minutes of that game. They were kind of getting hammered to kind of go full, you know, to really kind of turn it around and clutch up at the end. That took a lot for Splyce. And, you know, I think Mad Cat was actually a huge catalyst in that himself. Yeah,
Mad Cat, definitely a spark of energy. We can just take a look at the stats on my screen real quick. I just want to go over them, see if anything kind of stands out from that game number 1. We talked about Nolson. See how he could play in this one. He goes 27-23. I know topping Infused and slaying. You know, 1:36 in the hill, topping them tied for first on Infused. So we worried about him coming into this. You know, how he could step up, be a difference maker. He does. It's just you got an odd game out of Moose, and you feel like when a guy is that hot in a tournament playing that well, he's due to have one bad game. It's just unfortunate. It's right there.
Okay, well, map 1 is done. It's over, and we see Splyce take it. Funnily enough, in both booths, we're seeing disappointed people. It's not something we see a lot. Yeah. Petey's shaking his head, thinking, you know what, you know, a couple of kills at the end, that could have been ours. Mad Cat's almost like, boys, what were we doing for the last 3 minutes of the game? So both teams now really need to compose themselves going into this S&D.
It reminds me of a FaZe hardpoint from last year. They jump out to these like massive leads, and you're like, oh, they're just going to crush the opponent the rest of the way. And then you'd see the other team come back, like tie it up, take the lead for a second, and then, you know, FaZe comes out on top in a shaky game at the end. Kind of had the vibes of that, as it's going to be Splyce winning that one 250-236. Going into the S&D, I feel like this is a must-win for Infused.
Yeah.
I feel like if they lose this one going into the uplink, I feel like, you know, Splyce has been one of the more impressive teams that we've seen in uplink this weekend. Just the ability to just slay has really made the difference.
Their last uplink, I think they played against Aware, and it was like 14-0. Like, we actually casted it. It was just like almost hard to cast. It was just so one-sided. So if, you know, I think you're absolutely right. If Splyce take, you know, map 2, I think Infused may be a little bit too demoralized to even come back into this.
Yeah, and map number 2 will be Retaliation, Search and Destroy. So you look at this one, plays pretty straight up. A lot of teams just going to put emphasis on that lower street, try and get control of that. I don't think anyone is going to really kind of tempt and go over towards that bridge. Just so open. The defense has so many angles, whether you can drop down to that lower side and wall run all the way across. You don't even know the guy's coming. Or if you go high with a sniper rifle, I feel like it's a little bit too risky.
Well, Search and Destroy, Splyce has definitely shown their weakness in Search and Destroy. And Infused has shown what they can do in it. And I think, if there is a map, if there's something that Infused can really take from this is, they may be going into this S&D a little bit more positive because they've seen Splyce and the way that they perform so far. And, yeah, must-win game. We're seeing Centurion from both sides here.
Yeah, it's no overdrive from either team.
Yeah.
Which is quite interesting.
Well, it's similar. That's coming in from Madcat and Marky B. They'll be using the Striker and, of course, the Trophy Drone.
I feel like overdrive's pretty good for S&D.
Especially, I like it on this map. I play a little bit of Infinite Warfare myself, and overdrive. I really enjoy it. I think it's one of those where you can get in the face of the enemy, and it's something that can take them by surprise rather than the Centurion.
Yeah, and I feel like we've seen it used in different ways this year. Obviously, a little bit of an adjustment. It doesn't give you health anymore, but when it did, we saw it actually used more in gunfights as well. Overdrive, to just kind of throw people off. Like, you can't really kind of keep up with their strafing patterns.
Okay, well, Retaliation is the SD map you guys can see. Throwback Uplink will follow, and if we need it, we're going to go to Breakout, Hardpoint, and Crusher, Search and Destroy. Now, Jack actually said that if it goes to Breakout, Hardpoint, then we're definitely seeing a map 5. That obviously in favor of Infused. Like, he thinks Splyce will just lose that.
Yeah, I mean, I think I looked at you at that point. I was like, I don't even think we see Breakout.
Yeah, that is... I predicted a 3-1 victory for Splyce. Honestly, I only saw them potentially losing the Retaliation S&D. This is where I think Infused maybe, fight back a little bit. But Uplink has been so strong.
I always get worried when a team has kind of made a long run based off of, just fantastic play. Obviously, it's a team effort, but just off of, unreal play from, two guys, whatnot, those guys, you're going to get tired, you're going to get drained, you're not going to be able to just drop, 35 and 18 every game.
Yeah, I mean, you can't have a fantastic game every game. It doesn't happen. And when you put, 4 players, 4 superstars like Bance, Jerd, Josh, and Madcat, it's very hard for the likes of Moose to do what he did against Aware.
Yeah, and you can see, starting out here, I was on board with Jerd for a second. It looked like he was going to have a sniper rifle in his hands. When you do see the sniper on this map, there are some angles where you can watch from the bridge and into the hotel on the left-hand side behind the tank. And then obviously, looking straight down towards the A site, you can get some good line of sight, but he's going to put that one away. And we'll start off with Josh here as he's got the bomb. And a very interesting call off the rip here. It looks like we're going to see some pressure towards A.
Yeah, we've seen Josh actually make his mark straight away. Marky B trying to slide away. Very quick, aggressive playstyle. You heard it from Brycey. They need to shut down this aggressive playstyle from Splyce.
Yeah, the bomb is going to be planted, so it'll be a 3v3 bomb down in favor of Splyce. The bomb in position for the offense. So this looks like a really good round for Splyce. Just need to kind of dance around here, waste some time. You have Nolson on bomb. Not going to go for it right away. Now we'll actually see. It's going to be Nolson, the last one alive. He's going to get one, not going to be able to get a second. It'll be Splyce winning round number 1.
Big jammer grenade coming in there as well. I think it was very helpful in actually finishing that kill. Madcat's the one to put the last bullet in him. He actually put 5 in total. And yeah, Splyce will take round number 1. I like the fact Splyce aren't scared of going to the unfavorable bomb.
Yeah, and you almost saw Marky B when he died originally. It looked like he was just checking that bottom wall run and then running back. He didn't even check and look at the bridge because he's like, well, nobody really pushes straight down the bridge. Kind of crazy. So he was trying to get away and gets taken out from behind there. So we'll see now Infused on the offensive end. This is more of a standard push. This is where we usually see all the action come.
Absolutely. PT's going to be the one carrying the bomb, but he's got his whole team backing him up. Maybe a bit too close at the moment. Madcat strikes first, but tag will come in from PT. PT can enable the plant, but no, he's actually going for an aggressive push. This could pay off, and it does. 3v3. Moose goes for the first, and now Madcat from behind. Madcat, oh, surely that's got to be traded from the boys of Infused, but no. They're going for the full rotate, and they're going to spot one in the bedroom.
Yeah, but as soon as PT fires those shots, the side of Splyce has an idea of where they're going. Okay, for a second I thought, oh yeah, this is what they're gonna do. I was like, I don't know if they have enough time for that. 40 seconds left. It looked like they were gonna go all the way through A, all the way back around with the bomb through the bridge. But it's gonna be PD falling there as Moose, the last one alive. That would have taken way too much time, I think, to develop.
Well, he's on 3. Can he get the ace? He's seen him. This could be not only a 1v3, it can be the ace, and it goes down to a 1v1 with Jerd. He has the bomb.
Nah, it looks like he's going to go try and play this in the interior, and just see on your mini-map, 15 seconds left. Moose does not have many options, needs to make a decision now. He does not have enough time to check all these corners, Momo, with 9 seconds left.
Oh, that's going to be close. I don't think he can do it. Yes. Oh, yeah, he's going to put that down as he jumps on with the last couple of seconds, and he will get the plant. Rewind available. So is a Scar. I can see this rewind coming in for this round.
Yeah, if I'm Moose, I invest rewind into the round. You know, you don't have a lot of momentum after losing the hard point. This could be a big swing round. Can throw things in your team's favor.
Oh, he's turned the wrong way, wrong time. Hello, rewind comes in. We'll see him. We'll tag him. We'll get the kill. It's not only ace, it's the 1 versus 3 for Moose. He's been going off all tournament long.
You're losing momentum. You lose game 1. You lose the first round. And Moose comes in with a big play there in a 1v1 against Jerd.
What can this man not do? He has single-handedly kept them in this tournament so far. He's had absolutely stellar performances. I'd love to see his stats at the end of this one. However, it is 1 apiece. Bance will be taking the bomb this time, and it is a very, very standard push to be.
I would like to see them go back and try and challenge.
Oh, no.
Oh, that's a terrible grenade. I'd like to see them go back and try and challenge over at A. They had very good success there. I mean, you knew that Infused at best was going to put 1 player over there. But I'd like to see them come in. The Scarab comes through. Nothing really going to happen with that. The Scarab we have not seen been used to great effect this weekend.
Yeah, I think the only thing it says is, yes, they're over at B because they were going to A previously. Josh falls, and the bomb will go down. Now a 3v3, and Jerd actually takes 2 down.
Now, you don't see Bance get away with his life trying to slide into the garage here, but we'll have Jerd. Has to check bomb. Nobody on Splyce has good view of the bomb right now. I don't believe they have any idea where PD is. They're going to be able to take out Moose. Now, with the way Jerd is set up, there's no idea where PD's coming from. Neither of these players. You can see the arrows on Splyce. They are just searching for PD.
And right now, he's got to make a move. He's got to do something. It takes 7.5 to defuse. He's going to be taken from behind. Great play. They used the clock there. Splyce used it to their advantage and will lead in the search and destroy.
Now, starting out things hot early is Moose. 6-2 on the side of Splyce. It's going to be Mad Cat and Jerd, the ones doing the work. 5-1 and 4-1 apiece. Right now, I think you look at this game, obviously 2-1, really early in this search and destroy. But, I mean, if you can get PD going for the side of Infused, I think they can probably come back and take this one. But, you know, if either Josh or Bance comes alive, you know, has a big round, clutches something up, this is one that Splyce could run away with in a 6-3 fashion, 6-2.
Oh my goodness. 4 players go down. Nolson is left in a 1 versus 3. Car bomb going off, and now he has to do exactly what Moose did. But Nolson right now is sat at 1 and 3 himself, and you can see the mini-map, Splyce. They're hunting like a pack of wolves.
Yeah, I was just going to say, I love the way that Splyce has been playing. They've just been packed up together, everyone in position to trade effectively in case one dies. It's going to be Nolson falling there. But you see the aggression. It comes down from Market as a team. It's not one player flying out, and then, you know, 2 seconds later after he drops, another player coming from, like, Patio or something. You're just doing a great job pushing that lower Market as a team. You've definitely found something that works against Infused on the offensive side of the coin as well. Splyce in firm control of this thus far.
Well, if you're just joining us, ladies and gentlemen, Splyce did take map number 1. It was close. They started strong, and it was a nail-biting finish. However, this one, they're going into round number 5 with a steady lead here, and actually Josh has just unlocked a rewind.
And Jerd's got the sniper rifle inside the hotel, so we'll see if he can pick up anybody with this. We saw him do good things with it on throwback the other day. So 1 player directly in front of him. I don't believe he saw. And it's got to be a very cautious shot there because he did have Josh walking straight in front of him. Don't want to take out a teammate with a sniper rifle. Well, Bance picks up 1 player who's coming on the flank. So now they know that 1 player has to rotate over towards this A bomb site. Just look at how spread out the players are and Fuse are. You have 1 player over at A, 1 player at B, 1 player split all the way in the middle. Splyce gets 1 of these picks. They're going to open up a bomb site. This is going to be an easy plant. Should be an easy round as they take out 1 over at B. They're able to get bombed down to 4v2.
Yeah, well, let's go on board with Moose. He's got another 1v4 on his hands. He picked off 1. If this man even comes close to this, it'll blow my mind. Splyce surely not the same mistake twice.
Now they know exactly where Moose is in this position. He's going to try and challenge it. K-Bar versus Erad. Not going to win it in that situation. 4-1, and you see the shot of the guys from Infused. They look lost right now, Momo. cannot get anything going. It looks like they have lost a little bit of that confidence and swagger they had earlier.
Yeah, and this is, you know, a map and a game mode which, you know, some of people will be favoring Infused on, and Splyce are really showing what they're made of and showing what they can do in Search and Destroy. 3 plays from Infused, all 1 and 5.
Yeah, a lot of pressure on all 3 of those guys. Moose is bringing some A game right now. Just need one of those players to step up. Maybe make a comeback in this, but pressure going to come from Infused down the B street. Now, we have not seen anything over towards the A bridge from the side of Infused. Now, Splyce realizes they're giving up that entire side of the map. They are coming on a very fast flank. And you just need to see, okay, Bance, I was going to say, he needs to stay alive, wait for this to develop for his team, but he tries to run, not able to do so. Josh gives up the rest of their positions. So this is a good round for Infused. You needed to chase Bance out of the market. They do that, and now they have the man advantage.
Well, they do indeed. 2v2 as Madcat slims that down. And now they do have full control of market. The bomb is planted in a very strong position. It's all left up to Jerd. The trade potentially coming in, but he, of course, will have another challenge him straight away. Not going to use the rewind. I don't particularly think he needed to. I think it would have been silly due to the fact he did have to defuse as well. But the team kills... a team effort kill they're coming in for Infused. Finish the round.
Yeah, if Madcat just waits maybe an extra second there, let Jerd ready to go and trade that faster, maybe that's when he's able to win, but Madcat comes flying around the corner. Jerd waits 2 or 3 seconds to go challenge. That was not going to be able to clutch up that 1v2 scenario, so that's going to be Infused. Second round on the board. It'll be Splyce now on offense. Now, we do not see them do anything unorthodox. This is pretty straightforward. Yeah,
getting away from that car bomb. They've learned the lesson that Infused maybe didn't. Nolson and PT had a pretty good round, picking up 2 last time, but Nolson's already fell to Jerd. Now the numerical advantage not only favors them, but they have full control of B site right now.
And the guys on Infuse, they need to go together here, Momo. You see one up on this top patio. Nobody there to trade it out. Perfectly fine if you're Splyce. You're in a great position here. Jerd does have rewind, does not need to use it. Not necessary here. Has, you know, more teammates alive. Come and pick this up. Josh comes flying in, puts some shots in. Fantastic bait and switch there from the side of Splyce.
Yeah, that was perfect. You could see them almost, you know, come over here, help us out. They pinned him in, and they will be rewarded with round number 5. 1 round away from making the series 2-0.
And I think this is what Splyce needed to do to be good in Search and Destroy. Don't play flashy. Wait, bait and trade with your teammates. Be patient, and good things will happen. Now you're seeing Splyce in a game mode that we did favor Infused in, I would say. Really taking it to them, up 5-2 right now. And it's been a rough go for the guys on Infused. Moose has brought it in this one. Marquee B struggling 1-7. It was one of our keys to victory. You know, exploit Marquee B, and Splyce is doing that.
They are indeed, and it is certainly showing in the scoreboard. Moose and the boys, you know, they have this one strategy, you know, kind of push out B all the time and then maybe push forward after it. It just doesn't seem like they have anything else in this map. It just seems if it doesn't work, they have no plan B.
Yeah, you got to keep the other team on their toes in Search and Destroy. I feel like Splyce knows exactly what's coming from the side of Infused every round. Jerd does have that rewind. Maybe you see him open this up, fly right back, wait for a teammate to go in and try and pick up a kill. But it's going to be Madcat getting first blood here on Nolson. Josh is going to get one as well. Bance follows that up. It's a 1v4 scenario. Marquee B, the last one alive, gets one. Not going to get a second. The bomb will get defused here. It will be Splyce going up 2-0. Taking game number 2, 6-2, Momo. I gotta say, they looked good in S&D.
They really did. They've come here on Championship Sunday, and that's no surprise. The 4 players on either side really can turn up, but Jerd, Josh, Bance, and Madcat bursting with experience, bursting with talent. They go 2-0 up in this series, and they're going into Uplink, which some may argue is their best game type.
And I would say it's actually very important for this team to get a 3-0 in this scenario. You know, you play a lot of matches in a day. You don't want them to last even longer. You want to get through them fast. And we've seen so many teams that loser bracket runs, it ends just a little bit too short because they have some of these 3-2 games, long, dragged out overtimes and 3-1s, and they just run out of gas. And I think if they can get a big 3-0 here, they're in good shape.
Yeah, and to touch on that, if they do make it to the grand final, they do go up against Orbit. They've got to win 2 best-of-5s. It's a minimum of 6 maps. Like, they have got a lot of Call of Duty still left to play.
Yeah, well, they would have another series even to get to Orbit. They would have to go through Elevate if they win another map here. You saw the stats pop up in your screen. Jerd, 10-3 in that one. Doing a very nice job there. And then you did see Madcat go 8-2 as well. So those two putting up a big performance for this Splyce squad.
Okay, well, we'll be preparing the next map as the boys will be getting ready in their booths. Nolson was someone we touched on just before this series, and yourself, Matt, you were kind of saying, you know, he's the one player that, you know all of the others in so much depth. Nolson really has a kind of a real point to prove coming into this one. He was picked up by Infused, you know, picked out of a real good bunch. You know, he was ex-Hyper Games player. He was, I believe, Season 2 MVP for the CWL. I mean, what are you making from it? Is there anything that you think he needs to do better right now? Is it maybe a lack of something?
I mean, you've seen you know, some good performances from Nolson, but I think I may just be, quite frankly, that PD and Moose have just been absolutely insane during this.
Yeah.
I mean, when you've had those two players consistently putting up like high numbers, like your numbers are going to look lower. Like you're not going to be in the best positions. You know, those guys are taking the power spots. They're going to be the ones that are going to get the best, you know, cover. They're going to get the best situations to pick up kills. So, you know, Nolson probably fighting at a disadvantage most of the time.
Yeah.
But we have seen him make some big plays, you know, come up with some good situational kills around objectives.
On LAN. Going back, obviously, last season, Infused and Splyce headed off in the Season 1 finals, I believe, and Season 2 as well. Splyce,
crazy S&D game at Stage 2 finals, right?
It was. You know, Infused, it was the one time where Infused made a comeback on the S&D. They took it. It was such a surprise. And it was kind of that triangle of Call of Duty teams where Splyce, Infused, and at the time Millennium, being Madcat, Jerd, Swanee, Tommy, they were just kind of beating each other, and no one could really determine, you know, who was the best at that time.
Yeah, I mean, if you didn't watch that game last year, it was one of the best ones. From Stage 2 finals, it was Splyce Infused. It was a Game 5 hunted search and destroy.
It's like the fact we remember it so detailed.
It's like, I believe, like a 5-0 or 5-1 lead. Splyce has literally everything to work with. I mean, streaks, abilities, whatnot. And they end up blowing the game to Infused. I guess I kind of spoiled it if you want to watch it, but I mean, it's definitely worth a watch. Regardless, it's
definitely worth.
It's a lot more hype than I explained it to be.
It really tells the tale, the history between these teams. And yes, we've had changes. Splyce since then, you know, Rated and Joe deployed obviously to Orbit. They recruit half of Millennium. Infused make roster changes. Half of those go to Orbit. They take a bit of Hyper Games. They take a bit of Epsilon. And we have these 4 fantastic players going head-to-head with equally what you may say is the #1 team in Europe right now, Splyce. But they're in the loser bracket. This is not, you know, a championship match. It is not a winner bracket game. One of these are going home.
Yeah, now you can also say that Marky B and PD took a little bit of a chance on Moose. Was not the best performance last year for Moose. Very good during Ghost. He bounced back here in another Infinity War title. Really kind of proving his spot on this team at this event.
Very, very good point. And Moose coming out the blocks here on Infinite Warfare fantastically. And hopefully will continue throughout the season. Now we're going into Uplink on Throwback. Uplink a game mode Splyce have excelled in. Infused, they need to do the reverse sweep. They're 2-0 down in the series. Let's jump on board with Infused. Let's go with Marky B.
And I feel like for Infused to win this one, they got to keep it low scoring. One Splyce kind of gets in your base. They're not going to let it up. We've seen them, you know, put up 19-1 games, you know, 17-0. Just some crazy uplink scores from the side of Splyce. And I feel like this map plays in their favor because it's so close quartered. You're going to be able to get in and really cause a lot of chaos.
Okay, well, it was 4 down for a second there for Infused. They're going to spawn up. And we're going to see Bance pushing forward. Let's jump on board with Vance. He does have his team, and you can see by the minimap they do have full control of the train tracks. However, sliding in is going to be PT. Jerd trying to trade that one out. I thought he would. He doesn't. He goes down. That's 3 down. Only Josh alive for Splyce.
And it's odd by Splyce there. I mean, they have full map control, and they just kind of sit around and wait for Infused to come out. It's like your biggest strength as a team is your gun skill and the ability to just outslay people. Just pick up the drone and go. Like, don't even sit there and wait and just give Infused a chance to play good base defense and go right at them. You got to just take the fight to Infused, force some chaotic gameplay on them. That's where you can really open it up.
Well, here's PT. He's been a shining star so far this weekend. He's picked up 4 already. A 2-kill streak. Can he put the first points on the board? So close to releasing that drone, but it's not going to happen. Splyce. I say Splyce. It's Jerd with the double kill. He answers back, and we'll be running this right side.
Yeah, now this is a route we usually don't see teams take on this map. Usually we see it's more up the gut, more towards bike path, but we are seeing Splyce bring this in towards Barn. It's going to be Madcat leading the way for Jerd. He's going to try and push this in for 2. He had an easy 1-point throw there. Now Bance just trying to locate these players. It'll be a 1-point throw in the end coming in from Josh. So it'll be Splyce getting on the board first.
Okay, well, it may have been an easy one. They finished off with a one, but it was a bit scrappy in there, and coming in for a couple of kills for Infused. Marky B's in the middle as well. He seems to be turning up on the uplink, and he's trying to get that map control, that height advantage. I think he saw one in the opposing window there. Maybe not. Who's that player lingering around the drone? It's Moose. He finally falls. So does Marky. This is fantastic for Splyce, and the player taking that will be Bance. Let's hop on board with him, see if he can convert.
Yeah, but PD doing a good job on the defensive end. He kills Mad Cat, kills Bance. He's able to get a good defensive hold for this Infused roster. PD was the only one over there. Picks up 2 big kills, stops any type of scoring opportunity from the side of Splyce. Now he's going to fall back, trying to get back into Barn, but Josh still in the base for Infused, picks up another 2 kills. Splyce can get this drone in the middle of the maps. Josh had their base locked down.
Yeah, Moose is in a very good position now, and he's going to find one. That's Jerd. He's going to be tagged and disposed of there, but he's hot on his heels. It's Bance. Bance should be able to kill that and pick up a double for Splyce and pushing forward now. Again, map control. PT, a nice double kill just to kind of put a little bit of a halt on that. Jerd, I'm not sure what he's planning to do with this drone, but he goes down as the final 4th.
Momo, I got to ask for your opinion on this. I feel like this is a game where I've seen the drone just kind of sitting in the middle of the map with nobody touching it for a very long time.
Yeah.
I feel like there has not been much possession from either team of the drone this far. Just kind of kills just being traded in and around the middle of the map constantly.
I think what we're actually seeing is Infused go toe-to-toe on the slaying department, and it's forcing Splyce being unable to push forward. That's what we've seen them predominantly do, being dominant in all the uplinks that they've played. But maybe that's a strategy. You know, they're saying, we're going to outslay them. It's a bold strategy, to say the least, and Mad Cat saying, otherwise, the one-point play will go in to make it 2-0. But you can see here, Infused, they have the kills, they have the slaying ability, but Splyce are just dwindling their way through.
Yeah, now Mad Cat with a very nice route there. Looked like he was going to fake his way to the left towards the door, jumps right straight through the back, and he's able to get a 1-point play. But here's going to be a 2 on the other end. It's going to be Infused PD dunking it home. Going to start earning some score streaks, getting the Scarab. And he can just stay in the back of the base. They can throw this one forward for some yards, so Infused may get more points out of this.
Yeah, and they can not only get a 1, he might be cut off by one player. It's Bance, he's got armor on, he's got to go in. It could have been a 1, but he went for the 2. It's a fantastic play from Bance, and he'll keep this level with 18 seconds left to go. There is still time for a team to make their mark and take the lead. And 3 players go down for Infused. Bance is the only one left, and a big grenade comes in.
Yeah, and he sees the player flying towards him. It's 2 big kills for Bance. A lot like how we saw PD do a good job on the defensive end for Infused. Bance locking it down for Splyce. Picks up 3 big kills there towards the end. Keeps it all tied up.
Yeah, that could have ended very, very badly for Splyce. We saw a potential 2. We saw obviously the 1-point play coming in as well. Bance was a key factor in stopping that. He ends on a 4-kill streak as well. But going into the second side, everything is tied.
Now, you do think that one of these teams comes out here at the beginning, gets really aggressive towards mid-map. If you are Infused, you're obviously able to get a little bit of an easier of a 1-point throw scenario. If you're Splyce, I think you got to rely on getting those 2s. It's very hard to kind of navigate around those buildings in the back by baseball field and get those 1-point throws off.
Yeah, I know this is strange to say, but Splyce are getting outslayed right now, only by a little bit. But to see Infused go toe-to-toe and even better, it comes as a surprise to me. Marky B and Mad Cat. Marky B finds the second, but shut down. That's 3 down now. Moose can take the drone. Looks like he's regathering and going for maybe a slower 1-point play here.
Well, I think the sign of a really great team, you know, one that is championship caliber, is to be able to win these games when you're getting outslayed. I feel like we've seen some of the top teams in North America and Europe over the last few years, when they get outslayed, still find a way to win. So looking to see if Splyce can do that, or if they're just a one-trick pony, so to speak. They have to outslay people to win these games.
It's a very good point, and we'll keep our eyes out on that slaying side of things. But for now, let's jump on board with Jerd. He's trying to go back and 2. He's going to be tagged from the side. No, surely not. Finds PD out of nowhere. PD must have been occupied elsewhere for a second. He does have rewind, but again, uplink, not the best payload to have. Obviously, it can come in to maybe recharge your health, recharge your ammo. And again, you touched on it the first time, Matt, you know, this drone just doesn't seem to be going anywhere.
Yeah, I mean, we see Jerd kind of throw for some yards, just trying to get it out of the middle of the map, and he inconveniently throws it towards 2 members of Infused. Moose trying to go down to the barn side here, trying to get off a 1-point throw. Not able to do so in time. The defense too strong for Splyce. With 3 minutes and 30 seconds left in this second half, we've seen 1 touch of the drone.
Yeah, this is much, much better from Infused. I mean, that's one thing we can safely say. They're really taking it to Splyce, and maybe can come out with a victory here. Marky B last alive, and the drone has actually gone elsewhere. It's Josh running through the middle. He's got the armor, he's got the teammates. He's going to go for a 1-point play. It's safe, and he can now slay.
So I feel like when you go for that 1-point throw, it's like you have another teammate there. You have the cover of that building. I feel like you can get the 2 fairly easy. I feel like, you know, when you're on the side that Infused is on, you got to settle for the 1-point throw. It's very difficult to go past that back fence over towards the line. When you go over towards baseball field, a lot of cover by those buildings. I feel like you're able to force those 2s a little bit easier.
Maybe it'll come back to haunt them, but for now we do see a PT take the drone forward towards Lemon. It's dropped as a double comes in for Josh. Moose answers back with one himself and keeps the pressure onto Splyce. Now Splyce do have that man advantage just for a couple of seconds, and Mad Cat, they're going to take full advantage of that.
Now you see the drone in a pretty bad spot all the way at the end of bike path. It's going to be picked up by Bance. He's going to rotate this one all the way to the top side of the minimap. Now, he has one teammate in front of him. I was going to say he should probably pass this. You may see a 1-point play out of this, but as soon as he does, pass it a little bit late, it's going to be thrown off the map as Josh falls. So he will see a reset. 2 minutes and 10 seconds remain. Infused still down 1.
Well, Rewind's been used for one team. Moose has it unlocked as well. No other payloads available yet. They will be coming in the next couple of moments. And Overdrive has been unlocked for Marky B. The drone, though, that's been pushed forward. Nolson is carrying that one.
And he's trying to go high off the wall run, trying to get a 1-point throw off, and he's cut down pretty quick. So what we're seeing from Infused is a lot of just pushes where it's just one guy with the drone trying to make a play. I think they got to get drone control and really set up. They got to get players in the back of the base. They can't keep trying to go for these 1-point plays alone. It's not going to work.
Well, they've just gone for a manual pass. Bance picks up one. If he can pick up the second, this could work out perfect. He's got to find it. This could be a 2-point play, and that all comes from the manual pass of Jerd. It goes in for 1, and that came out of nothing.
That is a huge play right there from Bance. Big 2-piece. And then just this overall just game awareness and smarts that he knows there's players spawning out in the field, knows they're coming from behind. He's able to just get the drone, secure points for his team with a 1-point throw.
That's the play that distinguishes great and excellent players, you know, that separates those top 4 teams to the top 1. And Splyce here, they are wanting to define that top 1 right now. They're taking on Infused. They're 2-0 up in the series. They're 2 points ahead. There's 60 seconds left, Matt. Infused need to act now.
Yeah, and that looks pretty easy, the Bance play, when we're talking about it here. But you got to imagine, you know, gunfights going down, crucial, you know, call-outs from his teammates, a lot happening. But Bance trying to extend the lead. He's going to go for a 2-point play. He dies, falls in for 1, but still, it's going to be a 2-possession game here in favor of Splyce. Infused needs to start rallying the drone.
Okay, let's have a look what Infused have in the back pocket. Marky B has Overdrive available. I know Moose has the rewind, and the drone is in the hands of Marky. Hopefully for them, they need to convert, but for me, it needs to be a 2-point play with this payload.
Yeah, I feel like you always want to get the 2 first, ideally, but here it's going to be Marky B going for a 1-point throw. That looked off. As soon as he threw it, it looked like it was way too high, bounces to the side of the portal, and it's fitting. We see another European team lose from missing a 1-point throw at the end. I know maybe they're not able to get a 2 and rally it, but still, a 1-point throw hurts them towards the end. They are not going to put the pressure on Splyce. It's going to be a 3-0 in favor of Splyce as they handle Infused quick.
Well, you said it, Matt. They need a 3-0. They needed to make a bit of a statement. They have a lot of Call of Duty still left to play. They do go on in the loser bracket to face Elevate, you know, and it's got a lot of Call of Duty to come. However, Bryce, what did you make of that one?
Well, there you go. 3-0 coming in from Splyce. We thought it might be so, and it was. Infused not able to take a single map off of them.
That is a perfect example of the Splyce everyone thought we were going to see this weekend. Yep. They watched that series. They know what to expect now from Splyce in this losers bracket final matchup.
Absolutely, and it doesn't really tell the full story. However, with the first map being so close and coming down to that final moment and a few kills being traded in favor of Splyce, could have easily gone either way for the first map, and from there again could have been a different story.
Yeah, I think so. And for me, Splyce just leveling up now. So much practice.
Yep.
Coming through that losers bracket. They are playing Elevate next. Now, Elevate, Splyce, Orbit. These are the 3 teams we spoke about before this competition. Are they the new elite level? Are they the new, Millennium Infused Splyce of last year?
Well, let me ask you, how long did it take for those Elite 4 teams, in your opinion, to be established in the CWL Season 1 for you? Is it still too early, or is it just about that time now?
Well, I kind of started talking about it when I joined the CWL last year, but I was talking about it a little bit before, and I think there are criteria for me that to be elite that you have to have. Some of them are like, you can't really have any weakness. You have to be all-round good at all game modes. what I've seen this weekend, it hasn't said that about all teams for me, even when they've won these games. You know, they've got wins, like Orbit, for instance, you know?
Yeah.
Having those bad respawns. I'm sitting there going, yeah, they've won the S&Ds and they've won their games, but that's not the same thing we saw last year. So, I don't know. For me, I'm going to kind of wait till after the tournament, see what I think about, you know, the team's performances and roughly where they stack. So, I don't know. Maybe it is too soon. It's kind of a narrow kind of sample we've got.
Yeah, I'm just throwing it out there because I wasn't entirely sure, because I think now to the events we have coming up, maybe you wait until after something like in Atlanta, see if a couple of these European teams wind up doing well. If we see any of these three, in my opinion, do well now in the groups in Atlanta, those are then your elite in Europe, because they've now proved it at multiple different places.
Yeah, I think so too. But let's get your impressions on that game. Just Splyce 3-0'd Infused. Obviously, I know you're a big Infused fan, Jack. They are gone.
They are gone. Top 4, though, nothing to be too upset about. They lost to very strong opponents. That's the big thing to take away for me. In the end, what winds up hurting them, a couple misplays in uplink. They didn't look like the strongest uplink team at all this weekend, which I think is a major improvement area for them. Another thing, too, as we watched some earlier matches this weekend, some weird search and destroy maps, some gameplay that they can definitely improve upon. The good thing for me with Infused is they can leave this event. I think they keep their heads held high. They go back, watch over the film, utilize the great coach they have, and come back firing strong in the next event.
Yeah, I think that's very, very important. We are going to get into this map by map. But before we do, let's throw it down to the floor. It's Lottie with Bance.
Thank you very much, Bryce. Well, congratulations once again. Really, really good job. I bet you're exhausted now.
Nah, not really. We're taking it map by map. We're still fresh and ready to go.
So you guys are ready to hit the next series, and then you've got a final potentially. How does that make you feel?
It's just like every other tournament, really. For the best European players, we've been in many grand finals, so it's just another normal tournament.
So you guys are pretty confident now. As you said before, you've been in many finals before. That's something that doesn't faze you guys at all?
No, not really. We're just going in it. Just any other game, we're all confident and ready to win.
So from this series, are you going to take anything away bringing on to your next one?
No, not really. Every team's different. Every play style is different. Elevate beat Infused, I think it was, and so we just play our game, we'll win.
Awesome. Well, thank you so much, Bance. Back over to you, Bryce.
Thank you very much. Bance there. Just, he didn't care.
Short and to the point.
He's already thinking about the next game.
Exactly. Can you blame him? The guy's about to go play another main stage series, and he knows this entire tournament now is on the line. Obviously, you got to beat Elevate. Then if he gets to the grand finals, not only does he need to win 1 best-of-5, but he needs to win 2 against Orbit.
Yeah, there's still a lot of people actually saying, you know, Elevate could still take this tournament.
Oh, 100%.
Yeah. Who knows what's going to happen?
What Maven's been saying.
Yeah. Well, okay, I don't believe him anymore now. I tell you what, let's get the map started. Hardpoint, Scorch, first of all. Let's talk about this map. Splyce, they came out swinging.
Well, I think Infused are just a little behind, and it showed on this map. They were a little behind on the last rotations. And again, it came down to a few kills. And we've talked about Infused weakness in our point. It was every time they had one player going off. One time it was Moose, then it was Pity, and then it was Nelson. And this time, it didn't really happen. Moose had a good game, Pity had a good game, but it wasn't a monster game like we had earlier. And all of a sudden, it makes a difference. And with some great stats as well. You see Infused, very good last hill, but it wasn't enough.
No, it certainly wasn't, and it was a very, very close game. Even everywhere you look on that kind of scoreboard there, only really Hill 4 has a significant difference, but even then, you know, you look at Hill 3, that's a big difference as well. It was such a close game, and it's kind of interesting to see how the actual hill time was spread out.
Yep, and you think the game was won off that last turbine, or hangar hardpoint, sorry, and that is Hill 3 in the rotation where Splyce really had that major score lead on that breakdown. Love seeing graphics like that. Really puts it into perspective where the teams were doing well, where they were struggling. You could definitely learn from that one. If you are Infused, one thing I will say, though, remember, Infused at that point in that map was down by, what, 100-plus seconds? And they were only lost by 14. If they don't go in such big a deficit, you expect them to go up 1-0 in this series. Yeah.
There was a big play from Macat, actually, at the end as well, as he went through. And I think he got a 2-piece in the hill. And it was incredible. I thought he should have died. But he managed to pick off 2 of Infused, stop them from getting in. I think it won the game for them.
Yeah, that's the kind of things that we used to see from Mad Cat as well. He's always time and time again that player that, you know, he can turn things around with very big kills. He's been performing extremely well the whole tournament, and again against Infused he had a very good hard point. But I was just looking at the scoreboard. Infused just started way too slowly. You can't give a team like Splyce this kind of lead. Sure, they came back into the end, but they fell short because they didn't start well enough. So they've got to make sure they work on that. They can't let such a big lead home at the start.
And you saw actually in that Hangar Hardpoint, full streaks again earned by Infused. I would love for someone to go back to the VODs and see, did Infused earn full streaks on every single hardpoint? Because they begin to claw back into the game once they get them. There you saw, last time around this hill, it was 193 to 93. And now it's 240 to 236. Josh staying alive with the E-Rad, showing that that is the perfect hill where you bring out that submachine.
3 kills on the last hill. That was really Josh going huge and really staying alive. Helped by Jared. Really great plays from them, allowing the team to finish off.
Yeah, I think so. And obviously, you know, what a close first game to kick things off. We knew it was going to be tight. But we move on to map 2. And Splyce actually looked more dominant on this one, if I'm honest.
Yeah, It was interesting to watch because Moose, again, was still doing everything he could. This was a beautiful clutch by him, earning the rewind so early in this game that I don't think anybody on Splyce was ready for that at all. You can actually hear Marky B outside the booth hyping up his teammate from that one. But then as play went on, Splyce took full control. You see now up to a 4-1 lead. The big thing for me, that everyone on Splyce got involved in this game. Everyone pulled their own weight. You can't say that on the same for Nolson and Marky B, who are combined 3-11 at this point in the game.
I think Infused got really shy during this game. Splyce was showing aggression, but Infused was maybe trying to be too clean. They were splitting players. They were doing kind of the strats that you expected on Black Ops 3. And Splyce really staying alone, allowing the trade to happen every time. And this way, there wasn't any surprise.
I also think, because we got to saw the teams in the booths after map 1. And I was sitting in the audience, I was saying, they look so dejected after the first map. And I think they were just on full tilt, you know. They looked like in bad shape. There was no positive vibes in that booth at all. And then they went and lost. So I think this actually it just made it worse. Like coming after this, I'm not surprised they got 3-0'd.
And Jonas brought up the fact that Splyce were aggressive in their face. You saw them always running together as a team. If you remember from the keys to victory prior to that series that we brought up.
Fast and aggressive.
Be aggressive, be fast, get in Infused face, do not let them be comfortable, because that's where they're at their best. When they're able to dictate the pace and listen to their veteran shot caller in Marky B, that's where they do their best. This uplink, though, it was like a tug of war for the most part. A couple questionable plays from both sides, really, but Bance, for me, won his team this map in a couple key stops on the defensive side.